when I finished this, I thought, I've just been paid 35 quid for that. You know, it was incredible. So to do something you love.
What can shatter a 27-year monument of enduring marriage in the blink of an eye? For nearly 3 decades, the public praised Eamonn Holmes and Ruth Langsford as a flawless golden couple. Even behind that rosy picture lies a series of horrifying, previously unrevealed tragedies, from agonizing physical pain in a wheelchair media cruelty to the shock of a near-fatal stroke. The lingering rumors of yesteryear now have official confirmation straight from the insiders. Right now, let us strip away the layers to expose this heartbreaking truth. Eamonn Holmes was born on December 3, 1959. Growing up in a crowded, ordinary working-class family with 5 brothers, his childhood life was tied to hardship. His father, Mr. Leonard, worked as a carpet fitter to make a living, while his mother, Mrs. Josie, stayed home to take care of household chores meticulously. That very background, originating from the toilsome working class early on, forged for Eamonn a resilient character sharpness and an aspiration to rise. Ever since he was a young boy, he demonstrated a special passion for the art of storytelling through amusing anecdotes to bring laughter to his family. That passion grew unceasingly through the passing years as he became captivated by daily broadcasted current affairs, news bulletins. The dream of becoming a professional broadcaster gradually formed clearly and distinctly within Eamonn's mind. Not stopping there, the determination to pursue journalism led him to step into the Belfast College of Business Studies to receive systematic training in the necessary professional skills before officially stepping out into the vast ocean of the media industry. The first career opportunity opened up in the late 1970s when he joined the regional radio and television broadcaster Ulster Television. Beginning with the position of an agricultural reporter, Eamonn, with youthful enthusiasm, did not hesitate to roll up his sleeves and travel through rural areas to seek out the most authentic topics to serve the public. His effort alongside natural charm quickly rewarded him with the main anchor seat for the flagship program named Good Evening Ulster. Sharing about his early stumbling days entering the field of journalism, he once confided that those were the years that honed the sharpest willpower, where every transmitted story had to be paid for with sweat and absolute dedication to the audience. Thanks to the reputation he built up, his name began to cross local borders to attract the attention of major news agencies. The biggest turning point in his early career journey took place in 1986, when he accepted the invitation to join the BBC. Here he was entrusted with the responsibility of hosting open-air and interactive forum, allowing viewers to directly discuss and dissect broadcasted contents. His engaging hosting style, sharp intelligence alongside the ability to connect directly created a completely fresh breeze, helping him stand out compared to his colleagues. The Belfast Telegraph newspaper once recorded that Eamonn's appearance in the capital city of London brought along a powerful current of vitality and the unaffected rustic nature of Northern Ireland into the national broadcasting village in England. But the journey climbing to the peak of a lone broadcaster was only the prelude. Once his position at GMTV was firmly consolidated, a fateful turning point in the late 90s officially appeared, preparing to drag along the combination of 2 destinies, the beginning of the glorious era of the most powerful golden couple of the Foggy Land's small screen. The golden couple of television. May 1997 marked the turning point, changing the entire landscape of personal life and career of Eamonn Holmes when he first met female broadcaster Ruth Langsford. At that time, Eamonn was still in the process of resolving psychological aftershocks from the termination of his first marriage with his wife Gabrielle. Due to fierce pressure from mass media outlets and the desire to protect the safety of his stepchildren, the couple made the decision to completely keep their romantic relationship secret throughout the initial years of dating. Maintaining this information-keeping strategy helped them build a solid emotional foundation without having to endure the prying pressure of public opinion. By 2002, the birth of their shared son Jack officially bound these two individuals into a complete family. After exactly 13 years of dating and standing shoulder to shoulder through all life's and work's vicissitudes. In June 2010, Eamonn Holmes and Ruth Langsford held an official wedding ceremony at the luxurious hotel, the Elvetham, located in Hampshire County. The ceremony featured the presence of a large number of close friends, family relatives, along with many famous figures in the British entertainment world, officially bearing witness to the long-term commitment between two leading names of the broadcasting industry. Running parallel with personal life, the joint career of the duo began entering the golden phase when they were entrusted with the responsibility of co-hosting the program This Morning, starting from 2006. On national television screens, the combination of Eamonn's sharpness, biting satire, and Ruth's empathy, gentleness, created an unprecedented interactive effect. Viewers were quickly drawn by the natural hosting style, the sensitive handling ability of social topics, combined with sophisticated humor. The editorial board continuously entrusted the couple with the position of hosting special national events, typically the live broadcast of the royal wedding in 2011, bringing a close and deeply personal perspective to millions of viewers through the small screen. The appeal from this combination did not stop at the program This Morning, but continued expanding to many other blockbuster commercial television projects. The couple continued participating in co-hosting special programs and deeply exploring aspects of social life. The Sun newspaper once published an in-depth analytical article regarding the influence of this couple, affirming that the absolute chemistry between Eamonn and Ruth stems from deep professional respect and a rare ability to understand audience psychology in modern television. Thanks to personal reputation and viewership ratings always maintained at towering levels, they officially became the power symbols of daytime broadcast programs in England. But any pinnacle of fame must face major fluctuations from the management structure of the modern broadcasting industry. In 2021, after 15 years of close attachment, Eamonn Holmes and Ruth Langsford officially departed from the program This Morning, ceding the hosting position to two new faces, Dermot O'Leary and Alison Hammond. This parting immediately encountered many mixed reactions from the public and professional circles, marking the moment of closing an irreplaceable golden era in the history of live broadcasting. But when the limelight on television gradually receded backward, a body that once stood proudly now had to arch and bear lethal blows from the loss of loved ones and the writhing pains of illness. The tragedy of body and illness. Just at the precise historical juncture, when the absolute peak of his illustrious television career was wide open before him, the life of Eamonn Holmes suddenly plunged deep into overwhelmingly destructive tempests of tragedy, affecting him both physically and mentally. In the fateful year of 2021, the permanent and heartbreaking departure of his dearly beloved mother Josie delivered a profoundly lethal blow straight into the deep psychological core of the veteran male broadcaster. The intensely profound affection and unbreakable emotional attachment shared with his mother all the way back from his early childhood days in Northern Ireland transformed this tragic loss into an immense, cavernous void that absolutely nothing in this world could ever compensate for. When opening up to share about this heart-rending, soul-crushing pain in subsequent media interviews, he completely choked up with emotion, openly confessing that that was the biggest shock of life, when a part of memories and the firmest support pillar completely collapsed before my eyes. Running concurrently alongside this agonizing mental torment was a physical body that was gradually becoming exhausted and worn down by an endless succession of major surgical procedures stretching continuously across many difficult years. Looking further back in time to 2016, Eamonn was once forced to undergo an extremely complicated and perilous double hip replacement surgery that lasted continuously for more than 3 grueling hours directly on the cold operating table. This momentous decision was made after many years of having to grit his teeth to endure severe chronic pains whenever stepping onto the stage or standing before the cameras of major stations. Still, that medical intervention was far from being the final stopping point of his physical misfortunes. The real nightmare exploded in 2021 when Eamonn discovered himself contracting a severe herniated disc condition with 3 vertebrae completely slipped out of position. The direct consequence was incessant bone-piercing pains bursting out, robbing him of his inherent flexible mobility. From an active man accustomed to moving continuously across large studios, he was gradually imprisoned within chronic pains and started having to rely on the support of wooden crutches. Health conditions progressively turned worse over time, pushing him into the dead end of helplessness when his pelvis was severely misaligned and his body no longer obeyed his will. Entering the late phase of 2025, the bodily condition of the male broadcaster touched the most severe decline threshold ever. Eamonn was forced to completely depend on the close care of medical assistants in every minimal daily routine, such as changing clothes or cutting food into small pieces at every daily meal. Specialized wheelchairs and mobility support equipment became inseparable objects, marking the cruel deprivation by illness of a television monument who once walked proudly upright. Still, the fighting spirit inside this Northern Irish-born man has never cooled down in the face of adversity. In an article published on the Sunday World newspaper, the reporter recorded Eamonn's heartbreaking but steadfast confidences regarding the fierce battle against illness. The male broadcaster confided that each passing day is a true survival battle. But as long as there is breath, I will never surrender to fate or let go of the hope of returning to the audience. But when an exhausted body had to arch itself to fight against severe illness, another media bomb officially exploded, striking a lethal blow into Eamonn's life. The shocking collapse of a marriage that seemed unshakable after nearly 3 decades of attachment. The shocking divorce. In May 2024, the official announcement regarding Eamonn Holmes and Ruth Langsford going their separate ways after a 27-year journey of attachment was issued, shocking the entire community of fans and the British entertainment media world. The dissolution of the couple, once dubbed the most sustainable happiness symbol of the small screen, left an immense, unfillable void within the public's heart. Earlier this year, female broadcaster Ruth Langsford publicly revealed deep wounds for the first time through exclusive interviews across media outlets. Sharing on a special column of the Daily Mail newspaper, she frankly admitted that she herself had to experience days of utmost pain when facing the harsh reality of the broken marriage. She choked up and confessed that was the darkest period of life when all surrounding mental support pillars completely collapsed, and I had to rely on the persistent support of professional psychologists to step by step re-establish peace within my soul. Those truthful confidences exposed a tearful hidden corner behind the calm, strong exterior that she always tried to maintain before the public. The cause leading to this shocking separation did not stem from a single incident, but was the accumulated consequence of deep, smoldering disagreements in lifestyle and future orientation throughout many years. Eamonn always nurtured intense nostalgia for his Northern Ireland homeland, burning with the desire to return to settle down in his birthplace, to seek peace in old age, while Ruth remained closely attached to the dynamic lifestyle-developed career and the entire family system in the foggy land of England. That conflict in life vision resonating with Eamonn's joking but tactless, graceless remarks on television inadvertently sparked a wave of public outrage. Tabloid newspapers quickly seized the opportunity to dissect every single word, amplifying all underlying conflicts into bitter discussion topics, turning their private lives into a focal point of endless exploitation. The terrifying pressure from public media scrutiny caused the private space of both to shrink to a suffocating degree. The netizen community and fans were immediately polarized distinctly into two fiercely opposing battlefronts. A large section of viewers stood on Ruth's side, vehemently condemning Eamonn's thoughtless, disrespectful remarks and expressing deep empathy towards her restrained, elegant attitude. Conversely, a not insignificant number of supporters still spoke up to defend the blunt, straightforward nature of the male broadcaster amidst the compounding crises of illness and age. Amidst the storm of criticism and rumors besieging all newspaper pages, both Eamonn and Ruth were forced to make efforts to maintain a minimal professional facade in personal matters in order to fight back against the cruelty of social public opinion. Stepping into the new chapter of post-divorce life, each person chose for themselves a separate direction to close the sorrowful past. Eamonn quickly and publicly stepped into a new romantic relationship with consultant Katie Alexander, seeking a new source of energy and spiritual support pillar amidst a time when his body was arching to fight against perilous illness. Meanwhile, Ruth Langsford focused all her heart and dedication on caring for their shared son, Jack, maintaining a stable work schedule on the television program Loose Women, and officially releasing a book titled Feeling Fabulous earlier this year to inspire the uplifting of spirits for women after adversity. Even though each person had chosen their own direction to close the sorrowful past, the storms of fate still refused to stop there. Just as the wounds from the broken marriage were beginning to subside, a most brutal and perilous crisis was about to strike, pushing that man close to the fragile boundary between life and death, the ultimate stroke nightmare. After a period of absence from the broadcasting waves since last March, shocking news continued to strike the British entertainment village in mid-April when media outlets officially confirmed veteran male broadcaster Eamonn Holmes had suffered a stroke and had to be admitted to emergency hospitalization in an extremely critical condition. The Sun newspaper was one of the first major media units to publish details about this unexpected and serious medical incident, causing millions of fans across the foggy land to be stunned and fall into a state of anxious suspense over the fate of a television monument arching to fight against perilous illness. Facing the wave of chaotic information spreading across social media networks and extreme public attention, his eldest son, Declan Holmes, 37 years old, officially represented the family to speak up, to reassure public opinion, and clarify the situation. In the brief message issued through mainstream press channels, he acknowledged that this is truly a major shock for the entire family during this sensitive period, when my father has not fully recovered after a long series of days struggling with physical movement pains. Simultaneously, he strongly affirmed that Eamonn was demonstrating a resilient spirit and responding very positively to the strict treatment regimen from the team of specialist doctors and nurses at the hospital. Even while facing the fragile boundary between life and death on a cold hospital bed, the fighting spirit inside the Northern Irish-born man was never extinguished or subdued before adversity. Rare images shared from the hospital room opened up an immensely touching perspective regarding his private life. Most notably, the "Get Well Soon" card with clumsy handwriting and the adorable spelling mistake "Get Well Soon," sent directly by his two little granddaughters to their beloved grandfather. Cherishing that simple but warm spiritual gift amidst four stark white walls, Eamonn expressed iron-willed determination that he himself would use all remaining strength to fight against illness, with the greatest desire being to soon put on a neat suit to return to connect with loyal viewers through the small screen. The unexpected stroke incident last April was the final piece, the sharpest piece used to decode all lingering rumors and persistent speculations surrounding his life throughout the recent long period. Now, Eamonn Holmes no longer needs to evade, hide, or find ways to cover up any dark corners of the bitter truth. From the regretful broken marriage after 27 years of attachment with his ex-wife Ruth Langsford, a body heavily devastated by chronic pains. From herniated discs, complex hip replacement, major surgeries, up to the moment of facing death face-to-face, caused by a stroke, all created a naked but immensely tragic heroic portrait of a man who never submits to fate. No longer the glamorous facades on million-view studios or stories woven and exaggerated by tabloid journalism, Eamonn Holmes emerges as a vivid symbol of the steel courage of a journalist who fully dedicated his enthusiasm to British broadcasting. Closing the stormy but immensely resilient journey of Eamonn Holmes, we see the most naked portrait of the dark side and the truth behind television glory. If you feel this life story and these emotionally charged hidden corners bring deep perspectives, do not forget to click like, video, share to spread the story to the community, and click subscribe channel to accompany us in the subsequent authentic videos. Hello, and see you again in the upcoming contents.